Hey guys, I'm PhRoXzOn, a Diamond mid AD carry player for 3 seasons, and welcome to Leaguecraft 101. This is a series that will teach you how to become a Diamond player. If you're willing to be teachable, be hungry to improve, and practice, this series can get you there. So this episode is about the holy grail of laning, what I call the trading stance. The trading stance is a technique that does 3 things for you. It wins you trades, it gives you high skill shot accuracy, and it generates CS leads. Against the majority of players, it can also give you kills quite easily. Now, all of these payoffs combined can create crippling lane advantages that easily snowball into wins when executed correctly. So I guess you're all waiting for the big reveal. What is the trading stance? So I'll explain it in 5 words. Stand on your dying minion. It really is that simple. Given its simplicity, it's pretty surprising that I've only ever seen people executing the trading stance well in Diamond Plus. And I should note that executing the trading stance correctly is extremely difficult, especially if both players are competent users of the technique. However, this only generally happens at mid Diamond Plus. So while the trading stance is definitely a powerful weapon, used at the wrong times, it can result in taking excessive minion damage, getting baited into jungle ganks, losing too much CS, or just simply dying because their trade is more powerful than yours. So if you've made it to the dying minion in time, before it dies, you have 2 choices. You can either use the trading stance to trade, or zone. In general, if you have high kill potential, or the enemy laner doesn't have many potions, you want to use the trading stance to trade and whittle them down by timing your approach with the minion dying, and this is very important. This can then set you up for a minion crash dive later, or a flash combo to finish them off. On the other hand, if you don't have a lot of kill potential, and your trades are pretty weak, for example, let's say you're playing Twisted Fate, you would rather zone with the trading stance rather than trade. In this situation, I can just let the cards cycle, and wait for a minion to die while zoning the Swain off it, because of the threat that I might pick gold card. Now, once the minion dies, I can actually just select blue card and get my mana back without having to actually waste mana in picking gold card. Using this kind of technique, I can build a CS lead without having to even attack the enemy at all. Now finally, after you've actually executed your trade, you should immediately retreat so that your opponent can't retaliate on you and you reduce the amount of minion damage that you take. So now I'll show you some examples of using the trading stance in mid lane in a range versus range matchup. Since I'm in a high kill potential lane in Victor vs LeBlanc, I would rather trade than zone. To do this, I'm timing my approaches with the minion dying and then immediately retreating. In this case, the trading stance also lets me land my death ray skill shot because I know exactly where the LeBlanc is going to be standing when she's last hitting a minion. So watch very carefully in the following clips how I time my approaches with the minion's health going down so that I get a trade-off instead of just zoning her off the minion. You can see by repetitively using the trading stance, I already have Flash Ignite combo kill pressure as early as level 3. And this is a Diamond LeBlanc, so she'll be very wary of such a combo, and instead of greedily going for CS, she'll take a 10 to 20 CS deficit instead of dying. But against a gold opponent who's greedy for minions, I could potentially kill them at level 3 or level 4, and then kill them again at level 6, and then just snowball the lane out of control. Now the trading stance works similarly, but with less frequency in the melee vs range matchup. This is because you're susceptible to enemy auto attack harass, and you're probably going to be at a health disadvantage for the majority of the early laning phase. So, the trading stance in a melee vs range matchup is merely just a matter of standing on the dying minion and using your reach ability. Now, almost every melee laner has some kind of reach ability. Think of Darius E and Q, or Fizz Q and ulti, or Jax WQ into stun, or Irelia dash to a minion and E them, something like that. So, since you're melee, you have to be much more vigilant of taking minion damage, but the trade-off that you get is that melee champions are generally much better at all-inning their opponent, so if you do happen to catch them with your reach move, they're probably going to die. So in my first example, I'm moving into the trading stance. When Swain goes to last hit the minion, then I can Q through the minion and use my shark to kill him. In this next clip, I'm moving towards the trading stance on the cannon minion. But since I've already trading stance grabbed him multiple times in this lane, the Graves is very wary of me, and he uses Q to last hit the cannon. But again, I pressure with trading stance on the caster minion, and I manage to grab him successfully. I can then chase him down for the kill. If I wasn't so awful at Darius, or just popped a health potion earlier, it would have been a free kill. But unfortunately, I end up trading 1-for-1, which isn't the worst, but it isn't the best either. So finally, let's look at some examples where trading stance isn't such a good idea. In this first example, I can get a successful trade off. However, if the LeBlanc uses a QW on me while I'm trading with her, I'll be losing the trade due to the caster minions that will start to attack me after my minion dies. So always be wary of the enemy minions retaliating on you after a trade. In this second example, I can easily trading stance LeBlanc under her turret, but since she's very good at assisting a gank, and I don't have cleanse for her chain, it's too dangerous for me to harass her under turret with this gank pressure. So now, in this final example, I'm in a position to trading stance WQ the TF here. However, if I do so, I'm going to lose the cannon minion. So instead I choose to CS the cannon minion instead of trading. It's generally better to CS the cannon minion here, because I can always trade on any other minion in the wave. So that just about wraps up episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and most importantly learned something. So when it comes to the trading stance, for a concept so simple that even challengers haven't mastered it, keep practicing it, use it in your games, and please tell me in the comments how you go and whether you see any improvements in your laning. So until next time guys, peace.